reminded moving forward is on the Asante Organic Alliance. When you click on the name on the top of the page, it'll go to PDFs and files and, you know, pinned. It says pinned.
Pinned. Oh, okay.
So that's where we'll also have the PDF that Robert's going to provide for us, and Tim Mateo will make sure that that's happening. And I'd like to also remind everybody that on Monday, Dr. JJ is going to have a back office training. So I would like for all of us to check that out. Make sure that you know who is your personally enrolled. We have to take care of each other. So not just be a recruiting machine. You know, it's nice to have a lot of flow in the downline, but this is really a relationship business. And one of the main reasons that people fall out is because a relationship wasn't developed. So one of the keys that I find that work is to calibrate first, make sure that I'm right first before I connect with other people, because their subconscious will pick up on it. So again, if I've just gotten out of a lot of traffic and I'm rushing to be on time, that's not really grounded energy. So taking those moments, I'm going to walk through the calibration activity again. I go through it kind of reasonable pace. In the beginning, it may take a little bit longer. However, the more frequently this is practiced, I've noticed that people start recalibrating just with the intention of doing the calibration activity. So the mind is really wonderful how it works. It's always wanting to be helpful and jump ahead. Oh, I want to help. I want to help. Sometimes we have to tell the mind, just hold on here. You know, just go be quiet for a minute. I got this, and then I'm going to include you. So don't worry, you're going to be part of this. Is everybody ready? We'll just go through the calibration activity real quick. You're seated, not leaning back in your chair, but leaning on the edge of the chair. Torso is holding up, abs are holding up the torso. Feet are flat on the floor, however, crossed at the ankles. Arms are crossed at the wrists, thumbs facing down, fingers interlinked. And either turn them in and just rest them under your chin, which can feel like a hug, or just drop them in your lap, whatever is more comfortable. At this point, we'll close our eyes, and I will guide us through this, including myself. And we'll start with bringing our attention inside the core of the body, down, down, down the base of the spine, into the sits bones, where the weight of the torso rests. Slightly leaning to one side, we feel the pressure on one side is greater and the other side is released. And then center, and then the other side. Just bringing our attention to what is happening inside the body. Slowly penduluming back and forth, noticing center, but noticing how the weight shifts, feeling the pressure, feeling the gravity, just a little bit back and forth. And then each time we go from one side to another, we'll just decrease the movement just a little bit, not quite as much range of motion, simmering down, settling down, mostly noticing where is centering. Relaxing a little bit as we find center. Maybe the knees fall open a little more, maybe the shoulders round a little bit more. And in this place of center, we'll take a big breath of acknowledgement. Big breath from the belly. Inhale, sip, holding, relaxing the shoulders while holding. Exhale, belly button to the spine, push out like blowing a straw. Push more. Keep pushing, nothing's left, nothing's there. Hold nothing, relax with nothing. Inhale, big breath in, big belly breath. Gasping up, air more, sipping. Lungs rise, the energy rises up into the head. Exhale, belly button to the spine. Push more, you can hold your breath for a long time. You don't need any air, relax. Inhale, full belly breath. Relax, breathe normally. The attention goes back to the spine, traveling up. The energy goes up, up through the chakras, up all the way through the throat, through the face, inside the head, inside cranium, right there in the center. In this place, we're going to return to our pendulum, gently swaying to one side, noticing the water, back to center, swaying to the other side, noticing the water. That's our equilibrium. Gently pendulum, subtle movements from side to side, crossing center. Check in on your abdomen, make sure it's holding up your torso. Decreasing movement, a little bit less. Simmering down, noticing center. Steady on the center. Acknowledgement of center. Take a big breath in. Sip again. Excellent. Relax the shoulders. Exhale. Belly button to the spine. Push out more. Hold nothing. Relax again. Inhale. Big breath in. Lungs rise. Torso rises. We feel lighter. Up in the head. Sip more. Good. Shoulders drop. Relax. Exhale. Blow it out. Belly button to the spine. Push more. Relax with nothing. Enjoy nothing. It's good. Inhale. Big one. Sip more. More. Feel the energy come up into the head, up out through the top of the head. Keep holding. Keep holding. It's wonderful. And relax the shoulders and exhale as usual. Enjoy breathing as typical. Simmering the breath down, simmering the heart rate down. Take a breath in, long exhale. Breath in, long exhale. Last one. Fantastic. Uncross the legs, feet flat on the floor. Uncross the arms, open the eyes. Place the hands together as if you're holding a ball. Fingertips are pressing against each other. Face is forward, but eyes are looking down at a 45 degrees. Pressing the fingers forward, you start to feel that little pulsating in your arms and in your hands. And you're focused on the point where the two index fingers are pressing against each other. And this is about 10 seconds. And after about 10 seconds, look at the breath. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for saying yes to yourself. One of the reasons that we do this is so we have a clear perception of who we're interacting with. And the only way to do that is to be a good observer. So when we're reaching out to someone, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to match energy. We can't match energy if we don't notice what the energy is. And because this happens seasonally, sometimes there's high season, sometimes there's low season, right? Sometimes it's time of year, sometimes it's time of day, or sometimes it's time in their life. So as we're paying attention to how somebody's speaking and they answer the phone, hey, it's yeah, guess what I'm going to do? I'm right there with Amy because I love that. But if they answer the phone, hi, Min. Hi, Amy. How are you? I'm okay. Great. Thanks for picking up. I wanted to connect with you today. Allow the people the opportunity. Now, I call it bridging, because wherever my natural state is, I want to meet somebody where they are, wherever they are. And just being clear enough to pay attention to that is really helpful to me. It's really helpful to all of us. So everybody's an island. We bridge over to meet someone else wherever they are. And after our encounter, then we go back to our center and our island, wherever our community is, wherever we're in our natural state. That's where we go. We're not asking anybody, get over this bridge with me. Come on, just another step. You're so close. We just meet them right where they are. And the intention is that they'll feel comfortable with us right where they are. And everything changes. So just, it's a courtesy, but it also builds rapport very, very quickly. So you have to pay attention to where they are. You have to pay attention to where we are. And those things are really essential, absolutely essential. Next thing I want to touch on before I turn it over to Robert is in the conversation, in addition to assessing their initial states when you get into the conversation, be a good listener, because this isn't about us giving anybody information. This is about us building rapport with someone so that we can have an actual conversation. There's a saying, nobody cares about what you know until they know you care. And listening is a generous gift. I appreciate you all listening to me right now. When we're listening to the conversation, we need to acknowledge them. And one way to do that is to repeat back something that they've said, maybe the last couple of words that they said. Wow, 28 grams? That's fantastic. It's a lot of protein. Whatever they're saying. Be a good listener. Don't introduce yourself like, I have 30 grams of protein. Come on now. This is really something that we all do. Also, when we're discovering that people have their challenges, oftentimes they're just dealing with the superficial symptoms of what's really going on. So I have a technique in my training that I give, my teachings, and I got this from my teacher. It's called Y times 5. And what this does is it helps to bring us into the root of what is going on, the root of the energy or the root of the problem or the source of the joy and happiness, whatever it is. I just love chocolate. Why do you love chocolate? Well, ever since I was little, I used to save it. Well, why did you save it? Well, it's valuable. I only got it like Easter and Christmas. I would say, why do you think it's valuable? Well, because of the way that it makes me feel. I just feel, happy about it. And I guess it just does something to my brain that I like. I just went, why? I don't know if I went 5, but I got to it. Maybe you can get to it in less than 5, but 5 will always work. You'll always get to something good. Y times 5. The like is also for something negative. Oh, this isn't working for me. Well, why isn't it working for you? Well, I keep forgetting to take it. Okay, so you're busy. What are you doing that's important? Well, why are you forgetting? Something else is more important. What's on your mind? I got kids and so on and so forth. Okay, so why are the kids not taking care of themselves at 17? You can keep asking some good questions and keep directing it back to them, because they need to hear from their own voice why they need whatever you're offering. And if they don't see a need for it, if they don't hear that they have a need for it, then you're wasting your time. You're putting the cart before the horse. You're going to tell somebody why they need it. They need to know for themselves why they need it, but you can lead them. And lead them by being a good listener and asking good questions. So that's my little bit for today. And I probably ran over. I apologize, Robert. Talk faster. No, just
You
kidding.
did great. I think, that Y times 5, I've never heard that before, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it makes it to where you're, the thing I was always taught is that the person that's in charge is the person that's always asking questions. And also the person that you're talking with, to get them to feel more comfortable about the situation themselves, is you get them to talk more than you. Then you become a good listener. Instead of us, like you said, Mint, that we're trying to create an environment to where they have to have what we have, or we're trying to force them to want to have what we have. And I think that segues really good into what my teaching is today. And you don't need to write all this down, because I just want it to flow today with you. I just want you to consider the verbiage, and we'll have the verbiage all available for you in a PDF later today that will be pinned in your organization there in Instant Messenger on Facebook. The number one reason why people fail to recruit anybody, whether it's a customer or whether it's a fellow influencer or a distributor, as we call them influencers here, is because they don't feel comfortable reaching out. They don't feel secure in themselves. Who would listen to me? I just got started. I don't want to talk to them about the business because I'm not making any money yet. The classic is, I don't want to talk to my family and friends until I start making money. And then they rush into what we call the cold market. And if you remember from my teaching last week, I talked about there's only 2 types of people that you're ever going to talk to about your Asante Organics business. The first category is people that you already know. The second category is people that you don't know yet. So it's people that you know, people that you don't know. So it puts in a really easy to understand 2 categories. But the goal is, when you're talking to people that you don't know, is you want to turn them into what? People that you know. That's what we ultimately call our warm market, or family and friends. And that's our best marketplace to have people, because there's an association, there's a trust amongst one another that you wouldn't recommend something to them that would not be good for them or people that they know. And one of the things that I do has worked well for me in my career is we used to mail a letter before the internet because it was easier than a phone call, because most people were what? They're afraid to make a phone call. They were saying, oh my gosh, I can't talk to anybody. I'm just going to mess it up. I don't know what to say. So we started holding team callings where people would give me their names. I would call for them, and I would say, hey, Mint, this is Robert. You don't know me, but I know you and Timoteo work together. Yeah, I know him. Well, he gave me your name. I was looking, blah, blah, blah. So I'd go into a script where I would segue in. I would do 3-way calls with my teammates because they did not have the confidence to do that, wanting my team to be somewhere where they're not ready to be yet. And so that kind of segues into what Mint was saying today, which I think is beautiful, is that all of us on the call today, we're at a different place that we were than when we first joined Asante Organics. And it's difficult to expect your prospects, and prospects is probably not the best name for it, to expect people that you know that you would like to introduce the products to, for them to be where you are right now. Maybe you're in the business a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years. You've been dormant and you're trying to come back. They're not where you are. But to get people where you are, is you have to take them on a journey. And the best journey is, hey, Mint, this is Robert. How you doing? Great. Hey, guess what? I'm very excited about a new business and a new product line that I've started, and if I'd like to ask if you do me a favor. Sure. If I sent you an 80-page catalog, would you look at it and tell me who you know that would be interested in our 100% organic products? Oh, great. Well, when would be a good time to follow up with you? Then you follow up. And again, all this will be scripted for you. And this is a guideline for you. You don't have to follow the script per se, exactly what I'm saying, but it gives you a framework to fall into, to where you can start seeing the brilliance of, when you're talking to the people that you know, is not to immediately try to get them in, but to get them exposed, and for them to go say, well, Robert wants me to look at this to see if I know anybody, as his friend or his acquaintance or his family member if I knew of anybody that would like to get into and try these products. And 50% of the time when I make a follow-up connection, they'll go, yeah, I did look at it, and what about me? You know, we'd like to try it. Me and my spouse, or me and my friend, me and my roommate, me and my kids would like to try these products. Oh, great. And so it's a way to defer and also immediately begin in the referral process. It's not so much to defer first, but it's referral first. It's to get everyone thinking about, who do I know? And getting to expand their mind, because that's where they're going to need to be in order to be successful if they want to be an influencer. They've got to learn how to get referrals. They've got to learn how to contact people. And this is also a non-threatening way for a new influencer to say, look, I feel comfortable contacting everybody I know that's on my cell phone, everybody on my contact list, everybody on Facebook that I know, that are friends, actually real friends, not just acquaintances. That, hey, would you do me a favor? And who do you have right now? We start with this in all my trainings. Who do you know right now that if you picked up the phone and you called them and you sent them a text and you said, hey, Mike, it's Robert, hey, I need a favor. And Mike immediately say, sure, what is it? That's your priority list of people. Who are those folks? Start thinking about, who could you contact? Hey, I need you to come over and help me, put up a fence that fell down. I need you to come over and help me take my dog to go get them shampooed at Petco. Or I just need someone to go with me to the store to pick up stuff. I'm in a wheelchair and I need help, getting to my 50-pound bag of dog food or whatever. It's just you portray your life that you need some help. You need a favor. Who's that with? And that's how we reach out to our market, is we're asking them for a favor. And that releases the tension that I'm trying to get Mitch, or I'm trying to get Mike to buy something. Because that's where a lot of people feel that they are. They feel that, well, now I've got to turn into this salesperson, and I'm not comfortable with that. None of us were at the very beginning. None of us are comfortable. And if you're uncomfortable, that's a good sign, because that means that's where you're supposed to be. And that's when you can start learning, well, how do I get comfortable with this situation? Well, the way that we've done it in a psychological way is say, look, then contact your friends and don't ask them to become a customer. Ask them if they know anybody. And it's a deferral, and then it gets the conversation going. It gets your friends thinking, and maybe they're in a place. Look, I'm so busy. I'm getting my master's degree. I've got my kids. We got soccer. I've got this. My husband's out of town. Look, I don't have time to look at anything. But what is it again? Okay, good. I'll come up with some names next time we get together. I've got to go. All right? So it's meant to start bridging the gap and building the relationship with people. So when you look at the script later today or tomorrow or next week, whenever you open up the file, I want you to start putting yourself in that position. Who are the people that I can immediately contact that I said, hey, I need a favor, and they say, sure. What is it? How can I help? I may be across the country, but maybe I could do something for you, right? So that's the initial list. And then we're going to teach you how to contact them by phone. There's going to be a script there by text. Maybe you're more comfortable texting that. Maybe you're more comfortable sending them to your website. We're going to show you how to do that properly. And then we're going to show you how to do a follow-up with them. So the golden rule is you never get off a phone call or a connection without doing what? Without setting another connection. Well, wouldn't it be a good time to talk to you to see if you have anyone? Wouldn't it be a good time for you to look at the catalog so I can get back to you? I'm really excited about this, and I'm just looking for a few people that I would like to share these products with that have just been incredible for me. And give your own personal testimonial at that time if it's appropriate. But you don't blurt out your testimonial to begin with, because then they're going to get defensive and say, well, they're going to try to sell me something. Don't blurt out that, you can make a lot of money in this. I've done that. I've made that mistake. Everybody I've talked to in my initial contact, hey, would you like to make an extra $2,100 a month? Because that's what we were taught to say. Nobody joined. Everybody said, Robert, ooh, no way. So I learned this method over a series of 5 years and critiqued it, and I don't know where it came from. It was pieces of here and there. But every time I've used it and every time my team uses it, they will come back to me and say, I was uncomfortable a little bit at the very beginning. But you know what? When I followed up, they said, no, I haven't looked at it, but let me do that tonight, and I'll get you a few people's names. Or, I'll look at it, and then maybe I would like to look at some of these products as well too. So you're inserting into the relationship where you're jumping into the canoe with them. Instead of saying, "Hi, give me a paddle, and we're going to stop by Asante Organics here on the trip." It's the subtlety of inserting what your business is with Asante and to help people improve their lives, because that's what our number one goal is. That's the reason I'm in this business, is I always have had a need to help other people. I also love to teach. I've been a coach all my life, so I love teaching and coaching people and helping them self-improve, either through their health or through their wealth, right? So that's the mission and the cause that I have been in my life for the entire 40 some odd years that I've been involved in the business. And it's been able to allow me to have a lifestyle that I would have never gotten on the path that I was on when I came out of college with a marketing degree and a minor in accounting. I have friends that still today, they know what I do. They don't want to get involved with me. And they go, I'm really jealous of your lifestyle. What are you doing, Robert? They call me in the middle of the day. I'm on the back porch here making some phone calls and playing catch with the dog. What are you doing? Man, I wish I could do that. You make me so. I hear wind chimes in the background. Are you on the back porch again? I go, yeah. I love it out here. Gosh, I wish I could do that. I go, you can. So that's all I'm going to say today as far as the initial entry into getting into your warm market, and then we're going to follow up with that script, because I don't want to give you too much, because sometimes that overwhelms you. And I will also teach you in the script that if you get a voicemail, what do you do? If you get crickets on the other end of a text, what do you do? Or an inbox, those type of things. And how does that happen, right? How do you get everybody to respond? And the answer quickly is no, you don't. You can't. It's a process. You're going along the journey of all your contacts. And I want you to write this word down today. It's called asset. A-S-S-E-T. Asset. You have an asset that I don't have. And that is everybody that you've ever come in contact in your life. That's worth, well, let's put it this way. There's no dollar amount you can put on that list as far as what that's worth to you. Not necessarily monetarily, but what it's worth to you as an individual. Lives that you can affect. I'll just give you a quick example. My best friend's former brother-in-law is an attorney in Arkansas who represents the Clintons. And we got invited over to go to Arkansas because this was back when the Clintons when Bill Clinton was running for president, and I got to meet Bill Clinton. So I'm 3 degrees, well, I'm 2 degrees away from Bill Clinton, per se. Now, would I be able to text Bill Clinton today? Well, absolutely not. But I would be able to text my best friend, Mike, who could then say, yeah, let's get a hold of Robbie, which is his former brother-in-law, which he has a great relationship with him, and say, Robbie, Robert's in a business, and he has a catalog he'd like to send you and let you know, can you tell Robert, and I played basketball with Robbie, and he's a brute, he's great, and, and Robbie would help me out. Could Robbie then possibly get it to somebody, one of the other attorneys that knows the Clintons? Yes. And so you rob yourself of the possibility of changing somebody's life by me saying this. Well, I don't want to talk to Mike about this yet, because Mike's my best friend, and I want to have more success. Or I'm not gonna ask Mike to contact Robbie. That would be conflict of interest, or what would they think? Well, then I'm robbing Robbie of a blessing, and of maybe the Clintons of this, right? So you have to look at it in a great, and get out of the small focus that we have, which we see right here. And you have to open it up to say, what is my asset and sphere of influence that I could ultimately build my Asante Organics business with just the people that I already know? To build an organization of hundreds and thousands of customers and reps, not because I'm such one super salesperson, or I become the network marketer rising star of the year, None of those things. But I have to change completely dramatically, either with the products or as a salesperson, in order to even start communicating with people. Your communication path is already there. It's time to tap into it if you are ready to, number one, at least get customers. If you're cautious about the business, that's okay. That'll happen organically. Oh yeah, by the way, there's a way to make, get your products for free if you're ever interested. Or to make a little bit of side income here. That's the way I've always built the business. That's how I've built large organizations. Not because of me, but because I taught everybody how to tap into their assets that they have. It's like having $1 million down at the bank in a vault, and you've lost the key somewhere. Where's that key? And the bank says, look, we got our key, but we can't let you in to the safety deposit box, Robert, until you bring your key, right? So I show them the key to opening up their assets so they can go out and contact their warm market and change their lives and the lives of people that they know, which ultimately changes your life. So back to you, Matt.
Right on, Robert. That was fantastic. And
Thank you.
That flowed nicely. I'd like to open it up right now if anybody has any questions about what we covered today. And then also, I'd like to know, the frequency that you want to meet. Usually, the more frequently we do this, the faster things move along. Robert is developing a system right now, and that'll be coming out in the new year, very near January, we're hoping. So there'll be more tools coming. But until then, we still need to understand these are the foundations of how to do business in life. It doesn't even matter, what your company is. This life is a relationship business. So anybody have something they want to contribute before we sign off today?
We did have a thing that we asked everybody last week, Mint, if anyone has been able to reach out with at least making one new contact this last week and have any stories about that, any success or anything that we can do to help them to reach out to not only that person, or if they weren't able to do it, if we can help them, hopefully today help them to be able to reach out next week. But if anyone's anything this last 7 days. Well, I'll start.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, no, Andy, you go ahead.
No. Okay, sorry about that. I've been reaching out, just kind of out of my comfort zone, just like holistic chiropractors, holistic naturopaths, just, hey, I live in the area. I represent 100% organic, supplements. I didn't, and I'm kind of looking at their website to see like if they already offer products. Mm-hmm. But these do not. So that's why I'm reaching out to them to say, hey, I'm not trying to add to your plate, just to try to enhance what you're already doing for your clients, and I could be your rep, just kind of in conversation. I don't say all that at once, but just
actually, Amy, that's fantastic. One of the things I'd add in there is, did you know that your competitors all carry product lines?
Oh yeah, that's good. Well, one lady, she acted so interested. She was like, we don't carry products, because it just is too much. And I was like, oh, I can understand that. I said, but, these are something you can, feel so good about offering, because they know and trust you, or they wouldn't be with you. And, I could be your rep. You could say, hey, that, I could list out a thing of protocols, but hey, my rep Amy is going to, that she's going to take care of you. And then it was like crickets. I was going to set up a call with her and Dr. Becky, and, then it was crickets. And then so, I followed up like 5 times. This wasn't in just this week. This was like several weeks ago. But how do you recommend I come back to her? And what, at this point, I'm, like, well, no answer is an answer. And I understand that. However, I don't want to not follow up again. So what do you recommend?
Have you done face-to-face with this person?
No, I've even offered. I'm like, I would love to come to your office.
I would stop in with some muffins or something.
Okay.
That's what all the drug reps do. They bring food. Everybody loves food. And I actually used to work for a company in their marketing, and their biggest clients were drug reps.
Oh, that's so good. That's a great idea, because I've been trying to make
I mean, just like a little personal thing.
like a sourdough bread, I think, for the holiday.
Yeah. So I say, in-person things, and then physical reminders of something that means something to them.
That's a great idea. Okay.
But I like what you're doing, and that you have an eye on a market where there is a way. You don't have to create a new way. Doctors do this all the time. So props to you, Amy. Nice job.
Thank you. I'm just like trying to just reach out of my normal networking sphere, and I was in another business for 7 years, so it's kind of like I feel like I'm starting over in a way, because it's
good.
I've already explained to people, hey, I've educated myself. Wow, this 100% organic is so different when I thought I was using cleaner, so I don't want to keep with the same audience. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You're being intuitively guided. I mean, we all are. There's a thing happening now in the cosmos. Some people are calling it an ascension to 5D. Whether or not, it's something to believe in, there are many people who are saying that they seem to have more intuitive abilities. Maybe they have some precognitive, inclinations about things like that. But it is important to go, when we do this calibration, I try to keep it as neutral as possible. But what you are doing is you're going inside of your body, and you're taking authority over yourself. So if you didn't choose to do that, all those brainwaves are bouncing around like a wild pinball in a pinball game. So being a master of ourselves, and then we have a tendency of leveling up from there, because we're just not doing the same habitual things. Those are unconscious. A habit doesn't mean it's conscious at all. It's just a habit.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing us into consciousness. And I want to harp on one more thing, because I found a thread to pull. I can't let go of it. So one of the ways that I've recognized the level of consciousness with who I'm speaking to is if they're referring to a group of mixed audience as guys. Now, the reason that this is a bad idea is, number one, we're following a trend that disempowers women. Barbara knows. Yeah. So.
All right, I have a client that's showing up for an Asante thing. Okay.
Ooh,
fantastic. Mwah. Love it. Thank you, Barbara.
Bye, Barbara.
So, where were we? Barbara knows. We're going to take authority over ourselves. Anytime we choose our breath rather than just allowing it to do whatever it does, you're taking mastery over your avatar, over your vessel. So then you're becoming a creator. Now you're an intentional manifester. It just starts with one thing, like master thyself, know thyself. And if a little bit of attention helps to do that, then we should do it more frequently. And I say, if you do a 2-minute calibration 10 times a day, that's only 20 minutes. And if you don't have time to do that, then do it 20 times a day. I get that from somebody else.
Do you have anything to add?
Yes, I would. Well, I'm going to add. I'm going to go sidebar and go something different. Also, all your chiropractors that are in the area, and I have a training for that. Not today, but I have a training on how to contact. Because I have had downline members that they built it was organic. It wasn't organic. It was a mushroom coffee business that we built with a catalog that we mailed to chiropractors and followed up and asked if they got that, and they would offer free coffee for their people sitting in the waiting room, and then a brochure that would say there, take one. So they built their entire business through chiropractors. And I want to do the same approach. Well, I'm working on ideas on how to approach chiropractors and also the holistic people that you're talking about, independently owned nutritional places that are, that are like a Whole Foods type place, mom and pop shops, people that sell nutritional supplements. You just look them up, online locally. You can find those, and those are entrepreneurs. They're all like us. Yes, what do you got? Yes, I need something new. I need something fresh. Yes, to be able to contact, they have a list. And then being able to go into your chiropractors, going into those type of nutritional people, and teaching them how to collect a list from everybody that comes in and orders. Hey, would you like to join my email list? We get discounts. So then empowering them to reach out to their customers with their Asante link, okay? So there's a whole higher level of teaching that we're going to get into once we get our system going, but you're on the right track. Okay. And just because she didn't answer isn't a no.
Right.
It's just a no right now because she's busy. Okay? So we
locations too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so that's the type of person that you're looking for. Busy people are the type of people that you want in this, because they're always looking for a way to not be so busy and to make more profits. So I would recommend what Mint said. Show up in person.
Yeah, very good.
Pumpkin bread is good. Gingerbread is good this time of year. Those type of things from a local store that's prepackaged that costs you $2 or $3, $4, and let them add it to their break room. So that's about what Mint recommended is what I would recommend.
Okay, perfect. And of course, Dr. JJ is a great resource. Obviously, him being a chiropractor.
Yes.
I did talk to him a little bit. He had and which you probably know, he's like, have the essential oils in a diffuser in their waiting room.
Yes.
Sanitize to clean their countertops and furniture.
Yes.
It's just everything. It's so exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, once you open up your mind, you realize what an opportunity we have here.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So, okay, thank you. I'm looking forward to that training.
Yes, well, good.
So when you said you're going to drop PDFs or notes, is that going to, have you already done that from the last, or where is that going to?
No, we have not. We're getting this together. It'll be in your, the section you guys have on Instant Messenger with Facebook. That group that you have there. And
yeah, Amy is on the Facebook Messenger, Asante Alliance, Asante Organics Alliance. Underneath the title there, you can go into files and pinned.
Okay.
So this the link for this is pinned. The link for the corporate is pinned, and Tim Mateo's Zoom is also pinned.
Right. No, I knew that. I just didn't know he was going to drop notes and scripts.
It's going to be in the same place.
Perfect.
Yeah, I know. Easy to get to, for sure. Hey, Laura Lee,
so good.
You were going to share something earlier. Can you?
Sure. Well, he just asked if we had reached out to anybody, and anyway, it's one of my friends, and her and I were talking about researching different companies to look for products, and I said I'm going to look into Asante, and she was going to look into another company, and then we were going to compare notes. And then when we got back together, I said, well, I jumped the gun because I need some products to alkalize my body, but more importantly, my husband's, because he's got health issue. And she was saying her friend, lost 9 inches and 3 or 4 pounds or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's wonderful. But she said, well, I'll wait and see how you're doing with it. And I was like, Laura Lee, learn from that. She's not ready. She's not a warm, even though she's my friend, she's not ready. So all I can do is keep dripping. But I've had a few other projects on the go, so I didn't do as much reaching out as I had hoped to. But I thought, well, okay, I did at least have more of a conversation with, well, actually I did it with 2 people. Had conversations, so starting.
Good, that's great.
Nice. Thank you so much. Yolo, do you have anything you want to share?
She was given, Amy was given good ideas about going to the doctors or making baskets. I don't know if it's okay. That's the old, with other companies, strategies for doing sales. Christmas is coming, and what if we share, I was thinking like the green, the red and the greens with something like a little toy or something Christmas on it, and then give it as a gift. But I don't know if it's a good idea or not, or a good hook to get a client.
I think it's a great idea, personally. If you have a little card that says something about it, I am still astonished. So I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm out there, right? So I'm looking at these greens, and they're, Amy knows, they're alive, right? They're jumping all over the place, and it occurred to me, this is how Frankenstein came alive. Like, they pieced a bunch of stuff together. You got a bunch of plants that are all in this jar, and then he puts the voltage in there, negative 750 megahertz in there, and it's oh. So I'm a big fan of it. I don't know how to convey that to somebody as humorously as, just telling my story again and again, but it is really amazing. So if you can kind of jot out maybe on a little gift tag, you do to and from, but on the back of it, what is this stuff? This is the essence for life. Each one is worth 5 pounds, 5.5 pounds of greens, 5.5 pounds of reds. Maybe you could put a little, a couple of bullet points on there so they appreciate the gift a little bit more. Because it's wonderful. It really is wonderful. And I do consider it a gift when I was like,
I don't want to take up too much time, but something that seems to be working a little bit. I just kind of tweaked it. And Yola, I think giving samples is so good. However, just experience from my previous company, and then I was with a skincare company. It's just like samples can, it's only like maybe you can give like 4 or 5 days worth, if that much. What I've been saying to people this past week and a half about is like, they're talking to me about, tell me about your problem. And they're like, do you have any samples? And I'm like, you know what? I could send you samples, but let me tell you, 2 to 5 days really isn't going to give you, you're really not going to know what these products can do for you. I said, I tell you what, why don't you just sign up as a wholesale customer for $199, and I've even offered like, hey, I have a $20, off coupon, which I just paid. I Zelle them $20 basically. It's, or you just come up with something and just say, look, try them for a month, because it gives them the Daily Digest, the probiotic, that Go Green pack, right? It's $199 with the Be Natural and all the Phyto. I'm like, why don't you try it for a month? And then you don't ever have to order again, or you'll really know how these, are different. So it's just something, I've gotten 2 orders out of it, but they'll be like, oh yeah, I can do that. Some people can't. I'll be like, well, at least maybe let's order the red and the greens, and it'll give you a month's worth or maybe more. So, it's just they have some skin in the game too. And I think that's important. When people have some skin in the game, they'll tend to there's no sweat off your back, and you're not going, hey, well, 2 or 3 days you're really not going to know a difference. And then they're frustrated, you're frustrated. Just something that I've picked up on along the way. So anyway.
Amy, I absolutely love this. So I'm gonna support what Amy's saying is, and I do it as well. Do you have any samples? This is mine.
Mhm.
Blah, 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 blah. And I tell them, you get a 30-day money back guarantee. Use everything. Use 100% of everything. And if you don't like it, get all of your money back. I paid for this. So
And samples, are great. I used to do it all the time, and I'm not knocking it, but it's just nobody can tell a difference of anything.
So with what I said to Yolo, I gift people all the time. If it's something that I would normally do is to gift somebody and go, oh, hey, I have an extra one of these.
Right.
That's because that's my nature. But as far as, strangers and, like promoting with the lead, Robert knows that, and that is part of his system and his forte. And when we get to that part in the system, then Robert can tell us how he's been successful with samples, because I know he has been. Right?
Yes, it does take, but Amy's right that there's no commitment on their part, number one, and number two, can they feel anything? That's the reason why I think our skincare, our removing wrinkles and that type of thing, those are expensive to give out, but to do those in person, that's a form of the sample. But bee pollen I've given to a couple of friends, and they said, I want some more of that, because they could feel the difference.
Yeah.
That's the number one product that I've had to use where right now is the bee pollen, and it's $20. So it's kind of it's I call it a gateway product to our other products. So. But no, we'll definitely talk about sampling.
I sample every time I go out to eat with somebody.
No, I think samples is great. I'm not knocking it, because I love to give.
It can be expensive.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just like, anyway, just the skin in the game, and just
all good points. Robert has a training, 50 Ways to Build a Business. And I think what we're talking about right now is exactly that there's a lot of different ways to do this. So different people, different styles, different influencers, different styles.
Mm-hmm.
How's that, Yola?
One question. Like, long time ago, many years ago, I was doing Mary Kay, and the way they say they offer free facial cleaner, and then they make a party. People, I was a teenager. It was easy for me on that time because I hang with the high school girls, and then I do that and it helps me a lot. And I just thinking that's old. That was from 2000 when this is happening. So me right now thinking, just come up in my mind. Is that okay? I can do like that with Esante. Make them party like that and bring my friends and let me show you a demonstration to the close friends, the warm market.
Yes.
I don't know, I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So these are really important feedback, because what we're going to be doing, there's a lot of different types of trainings. So we want to know, Robert and I have discussed, we want to know what's your style, what are you doing, what are you comfortable with, because there's a training on that. Mine is always going to be something similar, because I'm always dealing with the human factor. Most important, human factor, because without a relationship, there's no business. We have to have the relationship. So all the strategies and techniques and so on and so forth are second to being a good person, leading with your heart, and trusting that you're a magnet and you're going to be a magnet for the right people. There is no fear in this. If fear marketing, you're attracting fearful people. That you don't want a downline full of a bunch of fearful people. So this is a new way. There's a lot of ways to get things done, but then there's a way for duration where there is no downside, and that is what we're doing right here. So thank you all. Appreciate you. Mateo, thanks for
guys. This is great. We so appreciate this. This is awesome.
More to come. So, is anybody voting on next Saturday? You want to keep it going?
I do.
No. Yeah,
I will do my best.
Yeah.
I love it, but I work.
Can we do it? Okay. Same time, same bat channel.
Yep.
Yeah. So
So
we can be.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank
Thank
you
you, guys.
guys.
You
Great
bet.
day.
Bye-bye.